Yeah.
Go ahead, Angie. I'm gonna send a message to our assignment desk on this here.
But as time goes by, and we continue to show you, for those of you who are just joining us right now, you're looking at Reagan National. On the right-hand side of your screen, in that lower corner right there, you somewhat see that fireball right there. That is what is believed to be the collision between the small aircraft and the unidentified helicopter. We did get recent information. There were reports in the beginning that they believed it was a D.C. police helicopter. That is not the case.
Correct.
It has been confirmed that it was not a D.C. police helicopter. Now, as more time goes by, those specific details that will perhaps be able to tell us a lot more about what happened leading up to this moment, specific details about the flight number, also the kind of helicopter, where the miscommunication happened. Unfortunately, a lot of this probably won't be known for a while,
yeah.
You know, for days, for sometimes weeks and months, and that's just because there's so many things that go into an investigation following a tragedy and an accident like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have not only different agencies working together like the FAA and NTSB, but you know, you've got the black box collection, right? You've got the cockpit voice recorder. All of that stuff comes with time to shed light on exactly.
Did she just say Black Cock? Black Cock? Is a Black Hawk helicopter, by the way. It's a military plane. We've been figuring this out over the last 15 minutes in my house. Ladies and gentlemen, I am live coming to you via my hotspot on my phone. So I don't know how good this sounds right now, but I will do my best coming to you live from my hotspot on my phone. I am in my desk area, and I should be able to stream. We're going to test the stream here. I don't know how well it's going to work because I am streaming via my hotspot, as I said, on my phone. So my stream may not be stellar here tonight, but I will try, and you can let me know if the stream goes down or in and out and whatever else. Just let me know if there's any trouble. We can. I was just gonna come on and hang out for like 30 minutes and test the stream to see if my phone can handle streaming from my hotspot. And then this plane crash thing happened, and so we were really kind of going into that. And so I figured I'd come on. I guess I'll be talking about that. I was going to just read the chat, talk to you guys, test the stream, and then talk about AEW. But, you know, with this going on, obviously, we can talk a little more about this. As a military helicopter collides with a commercial plane, you've probably seen it already, but, you know, I've known about it for a while. Leah, my wife, has been watching all the things on it. And, I mean, I found out about it and was like, what the hell? And then was walking up the stairs, and then Leah was telling me about it. And then I was getting DM'd after that from everybody about it. But yeah, crazy shit, bro. I mean, the helicopter looks like it's just kind of hanging out in the middle of the sky, just drifting around. And then a commercial plane just comes flying into it. But it is looks like to be a Black Hawk. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, those cops are taking their time. They're like, oh, I mean, they must not think anyone's alive because they're not moving too fast. They're just like, yep, get the boat. Oh, well, you know, I mean, man, I would be diving in there, wouldn't you? In a boat? Like, let's get out there. Let's go. Can you imagine, you know, a bunch of concussed people trying to swim, and they really only got 3 minutes to, you know, before they just pass out. And, you know, there's no way you get into them. No way. I mean, there are boats already on the water, so. But maybe something's up.
You just see the sea of lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if you're looking from the Kennedy Center vantage point, I mean, this is all you see.
Yeah.
It's changed the skyline. I mean, it's unbelievable.
All right. again, we're waiting.
She's whispering something. She just whispered something like, I don't know what she was whispering, but whispering something to the guy.
Because there is going to be a briefing, but, you know, you want to make sure. Wait, hang on 1 second. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
DEI military.
Okay. What we're doing is we're waiting to hear when there will be some communication. Okay. All right, let's go back to Nana Setiyobonsu. And Nana, you were the one that we learned of that there would be a briefing coming from police or coming from authorities a little bit later. But let's talk to you right now. And as you see that rescue situation, just describe the scene for me.
Yes, Jim. So the scene has actually changed from when we spoke about 20 minutes ago. You remember there was a number of boats and actually going into the Potomac. Turn around, look right over here. These boats are actually heading towards the airport right now. So we're trying to figure out why these boats left this area of Gravelly Point and now they're speeding, literally going down GW, heading to Reagan National Airport is what it appears to be. So I'm not too sure if this area wasn't close enough to the water or wherever they're actually trying to search. We did see a number of them go inside, as you remember, but now this is the last boat right here.
Definitely a sense of, curiosity, heartache. So we're going to go down inside the airport right now, Jim and Angie, to try to speak with families and people who may be.
Jesus, imagine speaking with families. Almost everybody on this flight's dead. Most everybody on this flight is dead. Imagine speaking with families at this point. That's crazy. I'm sorry for my I can't see the chat yet, guys, because I'm streaming via my phone's hotspot. So let me know if the stream is okay. Give me a thumbs up. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I am trying to make it happen. I don't know how well it's working right now. Let's see. Is okay. Give me a thumbs up. I can hear myself, so that's good. You should see it, bro. Damn, what conspiracy will the cause? Life needs to chill. Filthy. Detroit Morales, what's up, man? What's going on, man? It was a good Dynamite show tonight. That's awesome. 9/11 Kobe. Yeah, is this the reverse Kobe? Is this how we reverse back into normal again? It started with a helicopter crash with Kobe, and then it will end with this. It will end with this. AEW has been doing a decent job recently of building back up again. I really got to tell you, man, they have been doing a good job of kind of digging out of the crap hole. You know what I mean? AEW is slowly climbing a little out of that wall. So good on AEW because they were in trouble. And I mean, I know that their numbers are still going to be down, but that's fine as long as you put on a show that's good, at least. That's all we want. I know my stream is, I don't know if my stream is working or you guys can let me know. Hopefully my stream is working. Like I said, I'm streaming from my hotspot here. Leah says that there's a potential unconfirmed report that they have 4 survivors, but I don't know if that's true or not. But she was saying that there's an unconfirmed report. And I saw, it looked like the back of the helicopter spun away and was heading towards where the plane came from as it crashed into the helicopter. That's what it looked like to me. But it could have been turning away as well. I couldn't quite make out which one it was because that light is so blinding. And, yeah, it was hard to see. if you saw my Triple H Hall of Fame stream earlier today, thank you for hitting the like button on that. Thank you guys for hitting the like button on this if you can. I shouldn't be live, but I am somehow. I'm using my hotspot to broadcast. And it may not be the best and it may go down, but we'll try to test it out here. Let's hear a little bit more of what could be going on.
By the way, we mentioned Ted Cruz, and the reason his insight on this is actually quite important is because as a senator, he is on the Commerce Committee, which oversees transportation, chair of the Commerce Committee, which covers transportation. So, he would be one of the ones getting a briefing. Again, we heard from Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas, Congressman Don Beyer, who represents Northern Virginia, also getting some of that information coming in. But if you know anybody who is heading into D.C., I would imagine this is not just going to impact our traffic tonight, but at this point, what it could do tomorrow for travel coming in and out of Reagan National Airport. We have crews all over the scene tonight. Again, we're working different angles here just because all this information is coming in, and we're trying to sort through all of it and get through a lot of the noise. But a lot of the things that were suspected throughout the night have so far checked out. Again, military helicopter, which the initial reports had said it was a D.C. police helicopter. It is not. Military helicopter. Passenger flight.
I knew that.
Those planes, the CRJ 700s, generally can seat about 70 people. So that seems to be the top of the line number that we're looking at least right now. But we don't have confirmation how many people were on board.
And we also know that American Airlines, they have come out and said that they are aware of a crash and one of their planes being involved, but they've been very vague at this point, only to say that they will provide more information as they get it. So.
I'll tell you what we'll do right now. As we are waiting to get more information, I think what helps is getting insight on what goes on with these in these sort of situations. Let's bring in Richard Levy. He is an aviation expert. He's joining us right now on Zoom. Richard, first of all, let's talk about situations like this, which is something, thankfully, is so rare.
Situations like this we never see. We never see these in America, except for on 9/11, but in 1960. But you know what I'm saying. So we are we're broadcasting right now via my my hotspot on my phone, so it may not look the best, but we're trying to test it out for hopefully in case I need to broadcast this way Friday. 4 people are reported to be rescued. Yeah, that's what Leah said too. Let's take a look at the flight path. I was looking this up earlier with Leah upstairs trying to find the actual flight path, and the helicopter does not show up on any flight path device that I've looked at, probably because it's a military Black Hawk helicopter. So because of that, I'm assuming that's why it's not showing up, but it doesn't show up. Just the flight shows up, as you can see here. And so maybe it caught the military plane off guard when they changed some things around. He went there, he went back and came back, and then he went back and forth. As planes do, they do that little kind of loop when they're waiting for approval to land. And then it just disappears at that point there. So, So yeah, there's no you don't see the helicopter here. Obviously, it's just planes. But even on the helicopter radar, it's not appearing there either. And that's, I got to assume, because it's a military plane. I don't know. I'm surprised that they don't show up either, but maybe not. Kobe Bryant light. I'm hyped that we finally get some good wrestling because Raw and SmackDown have been garbage. Yeah, AEW is back tonight. You know what I mean? Every time y'all are wild. Every time I see Mercedes, I miss her dad. Why do you miss Mercedes' dad? Unless you knew him in real life, who the hell's Mercedes' dad? You don't know who Mercedes' dad is, unless you knew him in real life. Then I understand what you're saying. I get it. I mean, she's a local girl, but Mercedes' dad was never on TV or anything, so I'm assuming you're talking about knowing him in real life. (9/11) light. Jesus. Let me take a look. Let's see. We're testing the stream. I'm streaming from my hotspot. We testing the stream out, yo. Trying to see if we can go live Friday night. Monetize this from my hotspot here. See if we can do it. Yeah, I did see the Triple H stuff. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Undertaker. No, Cody, I didn't mention it yet, though, this stream, though, so nobody would have known that I've seen it. Now I understand why Triple H has a big nose. He's a liar. Oh, my God. Jesus. The hell's wrong with you? Yeah, I forget. Was it coming or going? I think it was arriving. I think the plane was arriving, maybe. Oh, did we lose internet? JJ Hunter in the house. Joe, is your hotspot unlimited data? I don't know. You know what? I don't know, actually. It might not be. You're right. Maybe I shouldn't stream right now. I should wait till Friday. I think maybe my hotspot's only 30 gigabytes. You're right. Maybe it's only 30 gigabytes. But yeah, it was flying in, and I mean, it's a military helicopter, so I don't know if it was just drudging around. I'm not really sure. It's not. I was trying to watch who was facing who when they collided, but you can't really tell from what we have. So we're gonna have to wait to find out. There's a rumor that they rescued 4 people. I don't know if that's true. Not sure. I'm testing the stream as we're using my hotspot to stream because, well, you probably, whatever, you know why, but let's listen.
In American aviation, how is on the Commerce Committee, which oversees transportation?
It's true that, man, this does not happen often. It hasn't happened in forever.
Aircraft, and I'm calling the helicopter, of course, an aircraft also, was that one of the 2 aircraft not correctly lined up with the runway that created the collision. And I'd like to clarify one point, though. The PSA airplane is a regional airline and operated on behalf of American Airlines, but the flight crew training, the maintenance, the procedures of PSA are purely owned by and operated by PSA. They are not trained at American Airlines. So I wanted to make that very clear. This is very usual. Regardless of the major airline, Delta, United, and American, they have regional airlines, as we all know, that feed them and on thinner routes. And this is an example one from Wichita up to Washington Reagan.
Captain Levy, so you've spent decades in the skies. And I know we've had a number of various across the country so-called close calls. Right. And you know, there is a certain belief that people know when you get on an airplane, you're putting your life in the hands of a captain, but you also know that we have a rigorous system of training and a rigorous system of safety protocol. We just mentioned the last time we saw a major incident at Reagan National was back in 1982 when Air Florida Flight 90 went down.
Right.
It's been some time that we've talked about something like this in our nation.
It has been, and that is correct. And this is going to point at, as I mentioned, a mid-air collision on what we say sharp final, that is close to the airport, just before landing. Who was cleared for what, and which airplane was in the right position, aircraft, I should say, the helicopter, the PSA, which was in the wrong position at the wrong time. That is a big mystery. Obviously, you have a different speed of the...
I mean, the military copter, is very slow moving in this video. Obviously, a Black Hawk helicopter. So, I don't know. That's very crazy. Let's take a look. Dynamite. I thought Dynamite was good, man. I'd probably give Dynamite a 7 out of 10 or a 6.5 out of 10. A Black Hawk, not a black cock. A Black Hawk. That's right. I said Black Hawk. Black Hawk. Black Hawk. Hawk. Black Hawk.
Bomber.
Shit bomb.
As well.
Whoa.
Joe Cronin has a gigantic dog.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought you were going to say dong. A gigantic dong. El Tapo. El Tapo, thank you so much for dropping $5, man. What's up, El Tapo? How you doing? El Tapo. We're coming to you live from my hotspot. I don't know how well my signal is, but hopefully we're still on the air. It tells me we go down and we come back up. I'm not really sure. 7 out of 10. Yeah, Dynamite was finally good, man. It was good last week actually too. It just felt nice, because they really needed help. And last week was pretty good. Kind of fizzled out at the end last week, but I didn't pay attention fully till tonight's show, so I didn't see it like last week. But from what I saw, it looked like it was another pretty good show for Dynamite, for what it's been doing, because they had been doing 5s and 4s and 6s and whatever. So if this was a little bit better than the previous weeks, so that's good news.
Richard Levy, who of Aviation Expert Consulting. The question is, was it on course? Was it slightly off course? But it stayed within the corridor of the Potomac. It wasn't as though there was a big misstep there. I'm going to ask once again if we can see our main screen here in studio, because it's a bit obscured from where we're sitting here at the anchor desk. But as you look at that, the vantage point there, we were talking before, there's the collision, but from the other vantage point, just to speak to the volume of planes that come in and out, you saw another plane right there on top, just taking off at that moment, well above. That was nowhere near the crash site, maybe vertically, but certainly not within close proximity.
You also noticed the different speeds, which the captain mentioned that to us. And it's hard at this point to tell.
A big misstep there. I'm going to ask once again if we can see our main screen here in studio, because it's a bit obscured from where we're sitting here at the anchor desk. But as you look at that, the vantage point there, we were talking before, there's the collision, but from the other vantage point,
the hell is this guy doing?
Just to speak to the volume of planes that come in and out, you saw another plane right there on top, just taking off. At that moment, well above. That was nowhere near the crash site, maybe vertically, but certainly not within close proximity.
You also noticed the different speeds, which the captain mentioned that to us. And it's hard at this point to tell which aircraft perhaps maybe chose or missed the right runway.
Right.
And like you said,
oh my God. You're telling me that the commercial flight and the Black Hawk helicopter were traveling at different speeds? Are you sure? Are you sure?
I was surprised to hear from him that he thinks it won't take long for them to to be able to really put a finger on perhaps where that miscommunication or where the misjudgment happened once they're able not only to get the black box but the cockpit, voice recorders to find out what kind of chatter, what was going on.
All right, so inside,
yeah,
they're going to do that briefing inside a little bit later, but we want to go to Sierra Fox. She's now inside the airport terminal.
Well, I can't wait to hear the briefing. Is my stream working?
A few people waiting and walking around like this gentleman right here, but I do want to introduce you to Debbie here, who I was just speaking with. And when I told you what happened, what went through your head?
I am completely in shock about this. I mean, this is horrible. I'm at the airport, and these people apparently crashed with a Black Hawk, and there's 60 people on board the plane, and they're in the Potomac, and they're going now with emergency crew to find out.
This lady knows more or the same as everybody else because of the way the world is now. Like, they're interviewing somebody as if this person is going to add something like, my brother is on there, or it's awful to hear that that's what's happening. But instead, the lady is literally giving the rundown of all the news that we all know about because we all have smartphones.
What the circumstances
Crazy.
are. They don't know if there's casualties or what's happening, but of course it's upsetting.
Absolutely. And what flight are you waiting?
She's like, I'm a news reporter. They don't know if there's casualties. Oh, that we do know. Like, we do know people are dead. Like, well, actually, I guess we don't. I guess her point there is, were there anybody on the flight? So actually, I suppose that is what she's saying there. What if there was no one on the flight? Imagine that if this returning plane was empty, but I doubt that. You know, obviously, I very much doubt that. But can you imagine if for some reason it was returning with nobody, or it was a maintenance thing, or whatever, and it was just the captain? And not that just the captain. I mean, that's a dead person. That's awful, but. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like it wasn't 60, 70 people dead. It's like, 3, 4, 5 dead. And they found, allegedly, they're saying maybe 3 or 4 people were rescued. So that could be the whole helicopter crew, for all we know. But I doubt it, man. I mean, that was an explosion, bro. There's no way. Like, I don't know.
Waiting for? Did you just land? What's your situation here?
I'm here early. I'm going to
I'm permanently landed. Look at my wheelchair.
Midway Airport tomorrow, Chicago, for doctor's appointments, and I wound up checking out of my hotel early, and I'm leaving very, very early in the morning. I have a tendency to sleep late, so I didn't want to miss my flight. But I can't believe that this is happening. The whole airport is shut.
Elon, can you get her an automatic wheelchair, please? For her doctor's appointments, for Christ's sake. What is she, traveling by herself with crutches in a wheelchair? Fuck that. Somebody get this fucking woman a butler or something temporarily. Can we get a service? There's got to be services like that already, right? Like butler or like, assistant service aide. I mean, that's got to be probably pretty prominent, and I don't realize it.
Down, is that correct?
Yes, no flights are leaving or coming in. And now, what's your plan?
Why does the news lady have to talk like that? Why does the news lady have to? Why can't the news lady just talk like a human? Can't the news? She's not talking to the TV. Why can't the news lady just say, this lady, oh yeah, there's no flights coming in, there's no flights coming out right now. This is so, are you concerned about that? I mean, you might be stuck here for a bit, and it's inconvenient, obviously. But instead she has to be like, no, it certainly is inconvenient for you now, though, because I am still speaking like a news reporter to you. Why is she doing that?
With all of this going on?
No, I absolutely don't. Apology team.
Why don't you fucking tell me? I don't. What the fuck do I know? I'm in a wheelchair.
Soon it will change, but right now.
Wound up checking out of my hotel early, and I'm leaving very, very early in the morning. I have a tendency to sleep late, so I didn't want to miss my flight. But I can't believe that this is happening. The whole airport is shut down. Is that correct?
Yes, no flights are leaving or coming in. And now, what's your plan with all of this going on?
I don't know. I absolutely don't know. I don't know if the flights are delayed and they'll be rescheduled for later tomorrow, or what they're going to wind up doing. I have no idea.
And now, how often do you fly?
Well, I've had my cardiology team is in Chicago, and I've been back and forth to Chicago on a monthly basis, flying with Southwest successfully. They do a wonderful job. I really like the airline. And,
yeah, no one's dead there yet. Oh, my God.
That's what I was planning on doing very early tomorrow morning, and now I just don't know.
And obviously right now we don't know, how many survivors there may or may not be, but just, what goes through your head knowing that, there's family members out there.
They're called caretakers. But I Love Pussy said that.
Wondering what's happening with their loved one.
We have so much going on in this country right now with transition, and I have been at the airport. I was here for
this reporter is like, oh, please don't go into politics.
the inauguration, and I came to the airport and I saw the president's plane fly in and out of here. I saw I think it may have been Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, so this is like, they just left like the other day after being here for the inauguration. You could tell.
Well, Debbie,
And now they had someone killed.
thank you for speaking with me.
She cut her off. She got political and started rambling about stuff. Well, thank you. I'll see you later.
Telling me that I have to send it back into the studio right now. And of course, when a briefing does happen here at Reagan National Airport, we'll bring it live to you right here on air.
At this hour, the information we're getting, again, from authorities is few and far between. Most of it is just thoughts and prayers from the likes of Mayor Muriel Bowser and many other lawmakers at this point. But we're still waiting to get concrete information on what happened.
Yeah, until we have that information.
The thoughts and prayers, they didn't help. They're dead.
And the details and the facts, it's hard. It's hard to even put into words how people are feeling right now. I know that as I look at, I'm getting text messages from people who are from Wichita, who are friends of mine. I fly that path often. I know it very well. It is just utter shock.
Too bad you didn't fly it tonight, whore. I mean,
yeah.
People are lost for words.
God, I love the news. And I went to school as a kid, and, basically was prepping myself to become, part of the media or something to do with media, entertainment, and probably news. And now listening to the news is hilarious.
What do you do at a time like this if you can't be there on the ground?
Masturbate. I mean, you masturbate, lady. What the fuck? You know what I do? I masturbate. In fact, you know what I do? I look at the crash over and over again and I start masturbating. And then I grab a couple of my other monitors and I put up other tragedies like 9/11 and Timothy McVeigh and I put them on repeat and I jerk off. And then I play the Star Spangled Banner and I look for one of my stuffed animals around the house. I cut a hole in the crotch of it where the cotton is, and then I dump in a bunch of silicone jelly into it. Then I start fucking it. And then I come inside of it while I'm staring at one of the most miserable times in our history. And then I come back and I watch more of this. And that's what I do. What do you do? What is it I'm supposed to do? Why don't you start doing what I do? Because what I do is really effective.
To help out in a situation like this. We do know that we are awaiting that briefing, but I know you mentioned, Jim, Senator Ted Cruz talked about monitoring the situation at DCA and how they will be briefed tomorrow morning. That is what they've been told, is that they are going to...
Some people do think it was Caitlyn Jenner, that they killed Caitlyn Jenner in the because it was a military plane and it was after the inauguration, so there could have been some people that were important in that military copter, and I am concerned about Caitlyn Jenner, no doubt about it. It would be payback for that car accident, though.
Been given the very latest information from the FAA themselves. But hopefully we're hoping that we will be able to get more information tonight, including any word of any survivors.
Yeah.
And people that have been rescued.
In terms of when we were talking with our aviation expert and talking about how rare these incidents are in our nation, it looks like we've had a number of...
It's very rare.
For this airport.
Very rare that it happens. Let's listen to this bald guy. He's going to draw a penis for us.
Air traffic is normal as well, but this incident happening where you have a helicopter, military helicopter, apparently colliding with this aircraft is something that we have not seen before.
Did you see him look behind him? He's like, did I just see a penis? He's drawing a giant urethra.
here, especially ending the way that it has. But as we look at this flight aware here and we try to learn more and glean more from what we're seeing here on this map, we're looking more into the records, we're looking more into the safety records of this aircraft as well. And as we
somehow they're going to try to blame Trump for this. It's going to turn out that the military plane was deporting illegals, and because they were snooping around the airport for illegals, they got that's why this happened. Or it was like the Trump inauguration something. Somehow they'll blame Trump for this, even though today he had a pretty big win today. Look at this guy. He's drawing a fucking urethra.
wait for the officials there here on the ground to give us more information. We will bring that to you guys as well. But that is what we're watching right now, guys. But we're just waiting for more information.
I want to point out, we're just getting information now from Metro. GM Randy Clark just sharing tonight that WMATA is going to run extra Silver Line trains. They're going to keep the Silver Line open to get people.
Oh, my God. Thank God they're keeping the Silver Line open. Just whatever you do, don't close the Gold Line. All right? Just don't close the Gold. Leave the Silver Line open. Don't close the Gold Line. El Tapo, thank you for the $5. We are testing my hotspot stream right now as we speak. Unbelievable. This is amazing, but awful news. Terrible news. Black Hawk helicopter, too. Crazy. Boom. I mean, it's too bad that the Reagan Airport or the building next to whatever the building next to the Reagan Airport that captured this. I mean, I'm glad, obviously, that we had a camera shot, but even though we got a camera shot, and that's great that we got a camera shot, like, thank goodness we did get this. I mean, it's nice to be able to try to see what happened, when something terrible happens. But, I mean, they got to get a new webcam, man. I mean, this is the webcam from the building. I mean, but you got to get a better webcam. I mean, we don't have better webcam than this? I mean, I know this is pretty good. It's nighttime and shit, but the webcam, I mean, this looks like 2003. This looks like prior to 2010. Like, okay, it's not 1998 where it was like all stills, slow-mo video, but I mean, it's pretty good. But you can tell by that flash, it's not able to decipher light properly. Joe, how does it feel that Mahomes is about to surpass Tom Brady if he wins again? He's not going to surpass Tom Brady. How many rings does Mahomes have? How many rings does Mahomes have? He's only got 3 rings. Mahomes is about to surpass Brady? He's got 3 rings. The fuck are you talking about? You got to call me when he has 7. Call me when he has 6. The amount that Brady had on the Patriots. Mahomes has 3. He needs 3 more to tie Brady's Patriots run. Mahomes needs 3 more to tie Brady's Patriots run. Let alone the one other one he got again. The fuck are you talking about? Not even close. I mean, if he wins 3 in a row, I mean, that's something that Brady didn't do, but Brady did beat Mahomes. So, I mean, Brady has more rings than Mahomes. He has 7. It's 7-3. Haystacks Monet, thank you, bro. It's not even close. Mahomes is on Peyton Manning territory right now. Mahomes would,
Come on out, you rapist!
Oh, shit. Will Z, thank you for becoming a member, man. Much appreciated. What's up, Will Z? Let's go rob a bank together and then kill a puppy. No, I mean, Tom Brady has 7 rings. Mahomes has 3. And Tom Brady beat Mahomes. So it's like, it's not even close. I mean, if you said, hey, Joe, how does it feel that Mahomes is halfway to Brady, to catching up to Brady and being better or being as good or something like that? I mean, then I could sort of see what you're saying, but what do you mean he's one ring away from being better than Brady? He's only got 4 then. He's off by 3. Doesn't make any sense. But okay. And you thought the Patriots cheat, but then they can't really figure out how the Patriots cheat. Oh, the Patriots cheat because they were recording the Rams. Okay, well, and the Patriots cheat because they might have deflated balls at one point, maybe, but not really, and it wasn't true, and they suspended Brady for 4 games. And it's like, dude, well, what about all the games that Brady lost? What about all the games that Brady won? It's like you're retarded if you think. Go watch the throws. Go watch the plays. The Patriots got helped with the tuck rule. And there was a couple other calls in the history that the Patriots definitely got helped with. Like Pittsburgh, there was a game in Pittsburgh that we won that was retarded. There was the tuck rule. But that stuff was like dumb luck shit. And then they got there. But then they got there a bunch of other times on their own. And then they even got there and lost on their own. So it's like, I don't know, man. I've never seen the type of shit with Mahomes. I mean, I definitely think that they gave Brady some favoritism. There's no doubt. As a Patriots fan, 100%. They treated sometimes, man. They threw some soft penalties because Brady got touched. You know what I mean? And Brady sometimes would do this little pouty scream upset thing too. That if you were not a Patriots fan, you probably were furious with. So I understand it for sure. And winners are going to look like that for sure. All the time. But I tell you, man, that Kansas City shit, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I don't know. Let's go back to the Fox or the ESPN or the ABCR. Maybe somebody's got something new for us, but I've been looking around.
In from the Dulles area as well.
People are saying DEI pilots. Yeah, you might be right. The DEI pilots. We did a little investigating into the crash that happened the other day. Turns out Captain Larry Johnson scored a 79, but because he was black, he received 15 points more than the other people in his class. And because he was also a co-citizen of Guatemala, he was rushed to the front of the lines. Hundreds of pilots who scored higher, were more efficient, were overlooked for guys like Larry in the name of DEI. And Larry was not prepared on January 29th, on that fateful night when the Big Bang happened. I call it the Big Bang. The big DEI bang. A lot of people say, don't call it that. That's insensitive. But I call it that. The Big Bang. The DEI bang. But no more will that happen, because we're going to make all the captains, all the airlines retest their pilots, and there'll be a minimum score. Imagine that. A score that they have to pass in order to remain pilots. There'll be no more DEI, because everyone knows DEI means die. And that's what's happened, unfortunately. I don't know, bro. Can you imagine Trump coming on? He would definitely give that type of speech about this. It's too bad. I mean, I can't do Trump really, but that's I don't know. He left behind a beautiful wife and their 1-year-old son. What a son. Does anybody? Some of you guys weren't in here that night, but basically this is terrible. But a firefighter, I think, or somebody was a policeman. Somebody, I don't remember what it was killed. Policeman or firefighter or something was killed or died, and he is left behind his wife and a little baby, like a 1-year-old son. And Trump was giving a speech about it, and he said, "I met the family earlier. It's what a tragedy. I met his wife, his beautiful wife, and their 1-year-old son. I met his son too. He leaves behind a beautiful wife and a beautiful son. What a son." And it's like I'm watching this, and I'm really seriously watching it, and I'm even getting a little bit sad, and I'm thinking about the words that Trump is saying and everything that's going on. I'm really focused on it, and I'm feeling bad for this family and this awful moment, and I'm kind of just watching deadpan like this. And then he goes, "Leaving behind a 1-year-old son. What a son." I just started losing it, dude. I could not believe this. I don't know if I clipped it, but I mean, it sounds so messed up to clip something like that, but I was almost crying at one point over this way he's describing everything, and then he just says something that's so ridiculous, and then it becomes, I started laughing. What a son. Like, who says that? Like the son did something, you know? Like the son impressed him somehow. It's a baby. I met their 1-year-old son. What a son. Oh my God. I wish to God I had a clip of it.
This next song.
Oh, that's the Joe Biden song. Oh, I don't have it. I was hoping I could find it, but oh my God, if only I could find that. Because my God, is it funny. What a son. I don't know where that video, I mean, that it exists somewhere. The video of that still exists somewhere. Like in the video of Trump talking about it, whatever. All right, I'm getting some. I think I'm trying to test my stream to see if my stream would hold up on a hotspot, and it's been pretty good as long as my hotspot doesn't run out, which I don't know if it's unlimited or 30 gigabytes or what, but might as well end it now in case we got to go live Friday, I suppose. I don't see. Let me just see if there's any new news.
Oh, trying to facilitate people who might be stranded tonight. This DCA again closed until at least 5.
The camera's kind of looking in that direction, and it zoomed in on this area as that crash happened. So again, that plane, what they have confirmed, it was taking the runway 33 approach, which is this shorter runway right there, because it's not one of the major commuter aircrafts. Again, as Jim mentioned, one of those sort of regional airlines that carries anywhere between 65 to 75 people if it's completely full. Again, we don't have final numbers into the room just yet. Again, guys, the best I can do is tell you that weather probably not a factor in this. I think I would have to bow to the aircraft expert from earlier who mentioned probably going to be some sort of communication issues, but of course we'll await on any official word as I send it back into you at the news desk there.
Mike, thank you. Looking at some news from the Associated Press as they continue to track this just as we are. They are citing audio from the air traffic control tower around the time of the crash. A controller heard asking the helicopter, PAT-25, do you have the CRJ in sight? Referring to the passenger aircraft. Tower, did you see that? Another pilot is heard calling seconds after the apparent collision. And then at that point, the tower started diverting other aircraft away from Reagan National Airport. As mentioned, all inbound flights are being held now to at least 5 a.m., which means at this hour, and what I want to do is just as we, I'm going to try to take a look and see where some of these planes are coming in from, because there aren't many at this hour, but there are still some. Coast Guard is now being deployed. Every available resource being deployed by way of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, to respond to this plane crash. So this is the first test of a very new and very nascent administration. But unfortunately, we have been through these situations before. It's just that we haven't had one of these to contend with in a long time. As mentioned before, Kenneth pointed this out. It is a very crowded airspace, and this has been something that has been the bone of contention for many lawmakers. If you recall, fairly recently, it was Congress cleared the addition of more flights. Now, we can tell you that it's very unlikely that there's a direct correlation, but when there were the concerns about the additional air traffic moving in through that area, that was something that certainly came up in situations like this, where you have military activity very close. You have military aircraft flying through, working with government officials. We are told, again, the helicopter involved, that Black Hawk, had 3 soldiers on board. Reports are out that there were no VIPs on board that, as there often can be.
Yeah, and this is just in also, we know that Maryland Governor Wes Moore, he has put out on X that the Department of Emergency Management in Maryland, which of course is part of the DMV here, has raised its Emergency Operations Center to enhanced status in support of this. He's closely monitoring updates and says that the state of Maryland, local authorities, they are all...
if only they were enhanced before this.
Engaged in this response. Obviously, we see a big presence from D.C. emergency responders, and we saw Northern Virginia there as well.
And we saw that early on with Fairfax County getting involved in the process as well, but they've been deployed. I mean, it's a very fluid situation at this hour, but again, we are following this. DCA, again, closed until at least 5 a.m. tomorrow. You are watching continuous live coverage of a tragedy in the skies over Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. It is 11 o'clock. You're watching Fox 5. Jim Loke alongside Angie Goff and Kenneth Moten as we track this breaking news. And for those of you just tuning in at this hour, we can confirm American Airlines Flight 5342 with nonstop service from Wichita to Reagan National Airport collided with a military helicopter upon landing just before 9 o'clock this evening. The collision happening in the Potomac.
You said that President Trump asked you to, quote, clean up corruption and conflicts. Sounds great. You've said that you will, quote, slam shut the revolving door between government agencies and the companies they regulate. That also sounds great. So here's an easy question. Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit
You're
to
not
what?
going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this question.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Let's keep going. You're right, because to say yes, because every American has the right to know that every decision you make as our #1 health officer is to help them and not to make money for yourself in the future. So I want to talk more about money. I'm looking at your paperwork right now. In the past 2 years, you've raked in $2.5 million from a law firm called Wisner Baum. You go online, you do commercials to encourage people to sign up with Wisner Baum to join lawsuits against vaccine makers. And for everyone who signs up, you personally get paid. And if they win their case, you get 10% of what they win. So if you bring in somebody who gets $10 million, you walk away with $1 million.
Nice.
Now, you just said
that
you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So, Mr. Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for 4 years afterwards?
Well, I'll certainly commit to that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something, because you're making me sound like a shill. I put together that case. I did the Science Day presentation to the judge on that case to get it into court.
Mr.
Without
Kennedy,
hearing.
Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
Yeah,
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake out of that while you're a secretary and for 4 years after. It's just...
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
No, I'm asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not to do that?
You're asking me to not sue drug companies,
no,
and I'm not going to agree to that,
drug
Senator.
Companies as much as you want.
I'm not going to agree to not sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a quick count here of how, as Secretary of HHS, if you get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead, something a jury might be impressed by. You could appoint people to the CDC vaccine panel who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine.
You could find a little child in a playground and rape his dick with your fucking eyes and tell him you're a Pocahontas. You could grab a 5-year-old by the dick and then suck on it and then tell everybody that you didn't do anything. You could go behind a dumpster on a Tuesday just as the moon is rising and stick a dildo in a small fawn. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? What do you mean? You could do this, you could do that. Yeah, anybody could do anything. And guess what? If they do it, they probably should be in trouble for it. They probably should go to jail for it. Like if they do gain-of-function research that is illegal, and then they do it, and then they lie about doing it, and then Joe Biden, the president, pardons them. They could do that, couldn't they? Or maybe I could go out and tell people I'm a Native American when I'm not. I could do that too, couldn't I? Yeah, I can say that you can do a bunch of evil shit too to you and then make it seem like you're doing it or you're going to do it. Shut the fuck up, whore.
From the vaccine schedule. You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which would open up manufacturers to mass torts. You could make more injuries eligible for compensation, even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk.
You know what? I could push the fucking nuclear bomb and kill you all.
Lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program.
And every single other person that came before me could do all those same things. But I say let a man be judged by what he does, not by what you think he might do.
A lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits and pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS. And I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as Secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You have said
you're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
No. Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it. Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator,
what a fuck. So basically, I could say that about everybody, that they could do something. So she just created in her mind that he's guilty of something he hasn't done yet. Now, I appreciate you raising concerns about, what do you want to call it? The ethics or the trying to think of the word. What's the word? It's not special interest. It's not ethics. The ethical dilemma. What is it? God damn it, I can't think of it. It's it's a conflict of interest. I'm trying to think about the conflict of interest that could exist here. And it could have been summed up in a different way. But see, the way she just did it was basically a full-on accusation about this. So this is like when how many people in charge of the EPA over the years, right? The EPA. The people that are in charge of the EPA are always people who broke environmental laws themselves a lot of times. And a lot of the times the conspiracy is, well, they're going to make the laws easier for the companies and certain people and whatever else. And the other way to go with it is, well, no, they know the laws and they know, what they need to look for and what they need to go. So it's like when you hire a criminal to be on your police staff because, he's really knows how this is done. And if you want to hire someone to catch a guy who forges checks, you're going to hire a check forger. That sort of thing. And, Robert Kennedy is so used to suing and, going after people. Now, I do have questions about Robert Kennedy's 100% legitimacy for sure. The guy is, he's not, like, perfect. There's something about him that's weird a little bit. But, like, he's also got a lot of good ideas and things that he says and seems more valid than the other people. But when you just start screaming at the guy that, you could do this, that, and the other thing. Well, so couldn't everybody in the government. I mean, that's everybody because you need to change the laws. And I think if she hadn't attacked him as much and kind of let him speak more, it would have been better for her. Instead, she just went off on a rant about, it was like the fucking Ghostbusters 2. Burned at the stake! It's like Kennedy barely spoke. She just raged on into him about, what if you were a bad guy? What if you were a bad guy?
Support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule. I will do that. The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
How about then say you won't make money off what you do as Secretary of HHS?
Before we go to Senator Tillis, I think it's...
Why did someone interrupt that? I want to hear. Would he say that? Why wouldn't he? Why did that have to not... Like, okay, say it.
Would be important for me to make it very clear that Mr. Kennedy has gone through the same Office of Government Ethics process as every single other nominee in the Finance Committee this year and in previous administrations. In addition to listing his assets, including the items that you've identified, he has signed an ethics letter that has been reviewed by the Office of Government Ethics concerning any possible conflict in light of its functions and the nominee's proposed duties.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
The reaction, the response was swift.
I don't know how we got off
at this
on
hour,
that.
Unfortunately,
Winds were steady for the better part of the last several hours. West-northwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. There was a maximum gust.
All right. Well, I think we tested the stream. My stream is freezing on my end. His whole family was basically murdered by all the people screaming at him. That's funny. That's wild. Yeah, MLK was at the Diddy parties. MLK showed Diddy how to do it, man. Let me tell you. Watch this. Oh, oh man. All right, I'll see you guys later. Later, everybody. I think my stream's fucked. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I might be doing monetize this Friday, but that depends on if this stream works out. If I'm streaming from my phone's hotspot, I'm not sure. I think it went pretty good tonight, but I don't know. I got to check how much hotspot I have. And then if hopefully things work out, and then Saturday I'll be on for the Rumble maybe. So I would think. And if we're on for the Rumble, we're doing drinking game during the Rumble and everything else. All right, Wet Dream out.